Definitely a lot to look forward to in the movie world in 2013. But right now, we are talking some fashion here on Expresso. We're talking about a fashion item that really stood the test of time with a great history behind it. And this morning, we have Oliver with us. He's the merchandising and buying director for Levi's South Africa to tell us a bit about the past, the present, and the future, and why you should have a pair of jeans in your cupboard. Oliver.
Morning.
Cheers, man. How are you doing?
Really good, thank you.
Cool, man. I love your jeans.
Good pair of Levi's.
Very cool. So jeans, a rich history behind it. Where did it all start?
The heritage of the blue jean really stemmed from the gold rush era in San Francisco. So around 1873, there was a dry goods dealer called Levi Strauss and a tailor called Jacob Davies. And between the two of them, they basically collaborated and made great workwear for the miners. Yeah. But it wasn't until the patenting of the copper rivets that you'll see on the product that really reinforced the product, gave it that extra strength and durability to withstand that test of time. It then followed through, worn by the cowboys of the era, sort of the pioneers of that free generation or that spirit of the Wild West, and it was the sort of workwear for that era. But only really until the 50s, when the sort of young, rebellious teenage kids stood up to the parents and kind of looked at the icons. So if you looked at the types of a James Dean or a Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley with the rock and roll era, that's when it really started to make an impact on youth culture and the youth generation of today.
Definitely. Okay, so since then, take us through some of the most influential styles over the years.
Okay, so from really when the 50s started, the straight leg progressed into slightly slimmer fits. The kids started wearing the jeans with slightly wider turn-ups, and it had a little bit more attitude and a little bit more of a rock and roll feel. Into the 60s, early 60s, it got even slimmer. It was very slim. You think the early Rolling Stones, that kind of footage, that's when the guys were really wearing the stovepipe jeans. And then into the late 60s and 70s, we really hit the sort of flower power, sort of peppy movement, and that went from more into the boot cuts, the bell bottoms, and that stemmed all the way through basically the 70s. As we hit the 80s, you got sort of iconic figures like Madonna, who took a men's 501 jean, ripped and distressed, and kind of created the boyfriend jean. So it was worn as more of an anti-statement. So that was the 80s. Into the 90s, what happened, it went really slim again. You had the likes of young Kate Mosses wearing the product, and really designer denim started to come into focus.
Love it, love it. Such a rich history. Now, I need to ask you this, because when you walk in store, there's so many different styles, so many different washes. How on earth do you even start to begin to understand what they all mean?
Well, I think let's do a little sort of one-on-one about denim. Really, it's quite a simple process. You either get rigid or stretched denim as the base point, from lightweight to heavyweight, or from a sort of weight point of view. Then you start looking at the washes and the treatments. Basically, denim is a blank canvas. Anything goes. So from its rigid loom state form, it's really heavy, quite tough, and can be broken in on its own. If you then start doing wash treatments, you can work with resins, you can work with certain coatings of the fabric, the tinting of the fabric, so you'll pick up on the brown cast coming through there. And then as far as rip and repairs, people want their own individual statements. So they're wanting for it to look like it's been lived in and worn in. So with what we're doing on certain finishes, we're tearing it, abrading it, repairing it, and building on from that. But I think the most important thing is into the future, where we're starting to look at using recycled yarns and new types of fibers to wear into the denim.
So that's really going into the future for denim, the whole recyclable type of vibe.
It's very important as to what's happening in the future. I think consumers are looking to get more out of their product. They want to know where it's come from. They want to know what the manufacturers are using, the types of processes we do, methods of using less water, for example. It's about a more of a conscious awareness with regards to the brand.
Big things happening in the jeans industry. All right, so let's take a look at some on-trend styles for 2013. I want to call in Leanne there for a second. Leanne, looking very gorgeous.
Leanne's rocking a pair of bold curves in a really skinny fit. It's a raw indigo with a great stretch. Weight is around an 11-ounce denim. Looking really hot.
Awesome, Lee, thank you. And Graham, come in here with your nice maroon jeans.
I think it's burgundy.
It's burgundy. It's maroon. So what is he up to?
Well, he's basically wearing a tapered fit. So what you're seeing is it's slightly looser on the top block, but really narrow down the bottom. So it's still a very flattering cut. Colored denim is very important at the moment. So non-denims and denims, but non-denim color, very important, continuing into 2013 as a trend.
Fantastic.
And I see you're wearing a pretty good pair yourself.
I do, yeah.
Actually.
I love this. They're super comfy, I can tell you that much. So what do I have?
Stretch into menswear, very important. I think guys are finally realizing you don't have to only wear rigid denim. Stretch denim is very important. It's a skinny cut, and great look when with the boots over the top, and rocking that heritage shirt as well.
Dude, love this look. Oliver, thank you so much for joining us and just educating us a little bit on denim. But of course, we are giving away 2 Levi's vouchers to the value of 1,500 Rand each. All you need to do is SMS the keyword WIN, your name and city to 33728. It's as easy as that. We'll see you guys right after these.
Thank you.